The following podcast is scheduled for one fall. From the heart of Broadway in historic downtown Cape Girardeau, this is Pro Wrestling Unscripted. It's September 12th, 2018. I want to thank you guys for tuning in once again to Pro Wrestling Unscripted here on the Podzilla 1985 network. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host for tonight's show, and with me, the great gang of Asa Gray, the five-star man down at the end of the table.
Yes.
Ali Abear to my left.
Hello.
And not here tonight because he is currently going over some things for his life.
What? Yo. Just move on.
I genuinely thought you were going to do the Dolphin Anthony thing.
I was
like
thinking,
you were just going to do the voice, but then I was like, I don't know if Shannon would just do the voice if he didn't actually have the puppet, even though no one could see it.
No, I would have put the puppet on. I'm trying to get back into the swing of podcasting again because I was gone for a week and a lot of the joy has been taken out of me. So it's hard to get like back in the spirit of doing things again. We did the show last night, which I thought went pretty well.
I thought it was a good show.
Except for old smartass over here.
I'm not really sorry.
My first night back and she's already riding my tail. It's whatever. It's fine. We're talking about wrestling tonight. Dalton not here. He is discussing some important things that we can't actually go over yet. So wish he was here. He is not. We do have a puppet here. And if you tuned into CCW Live tonight, spoiler, well, not really a spoiler, explanation. So I was actually going to be on CCW Live tonight for the first time in 2 weeks, but I only agreed to be on it if I could hide under the table. And I have a dolphin puppet, a pink dolphin puppet, which I think is from Archer, if I remember correctly. And we put a little beard on it. Zach Kurgis is here. He's in the background. And Zach helped us put a little beard on it. He gave us some string. And he lent us one of his hats. We put it on its head. And it was Dolphin Anthony. In what I think may be my opus of comedy.
Which you say that like they can't see Dolphin Anthony on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Podzilla1985.
You absolutely can see a clip of that because I was going to be on the show as Dolphin Anthony and the whole show. I was going to be in character, but Asa rightfully pointed out that this is a very serious topic. It's not a good time to be making fun of Dalton right now, Big Lee. So, we decided to nix that idea. And instead, we cut a quick video, which is on our Facebook, Podzilla 1985, which I think is very, very funny. And
it's hilarious.
If you think that's the last time you've seen Dolphin Anthony, you're wrong.
You were sadly mistaken.
He's coming back and in full force. We recommend you guys go watch that. Let's get to the news. And let's start off tonight. Asa typed it all up for us, as he always does, thankfully. And we're going to start off with Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan news. And it's good news for Daniel Bryan. It's good news for wrestling fans. It's good news especially for the WWE because they are keeping one of the best. Daniel Bryan has reportedly agreed to a new contract with World Wrestling Entertainment.
Very, very important to note, reportedly. I think it was Meltzer in his newsletter a few days ago, or maybe it was after we were done recording last week, said that it is... Daniel Bryan has signed. WWE hasn't signed it yet, but that's just kind of a matter. Like, it's a given that he's going to stay there, which is good. It's allegedly for a multi-year deal, and it's also not a full-time schedule. Daniel Bryan did an interview with Sam Roberts a couple weeks ago where he mentioned, or I think it was like 2 weeks ago, where he mentioned WWE was working with him on not wrestling, 200 times a year.
Right.
Bringing that down to like 50 to 100.
Which is good. It's good for Daniel Bryan. And, he will, not quite to the level of Brock Lesnar, but he will definitely be an attraction.
Yeah.
So you won't see Daniel Bryan wrestling on every house show. You won't see Daniel Bryan on every pay-per-view. But when you do see him, it feels special. And by the way, I meant to say this earlier in the show, and I want to say it right now. You two plus Dalton, well, actually... CCW Live last week, great job. Allie missed last PW.
Yes.
She came home with fast food instead.
Yes.
And how was that?
It was good.
It was good.
Fast food sounds so good right now.
But you and Dalton did an amazing job last week. Very, very good. And I know I should have said this before we did the story because now we're cutting into the story, but I want to mention this. I really want to mention this. And then watching you and Allie do CCW Live tonight, because I was in the group chat, even though I was 20 feet away, playing Star Wars.
The illusion.
My immersion.
Dang it. Start the show.
It's the same
Start
thing.
the show
It's
over.
the same thing. But you guys did such a good job. And one of my biggest fears about not being on the show, it's a stupid fear. It's an arrogant fear. But it would be that the show would suffer because I wasn't there. And I'm happy to say that I don't think it has suffered at all. You guys did such a good job. I just want to say thank you for doing such a good job while I've been gone.
Last week's episode suffered. Of PWU. Like, because I even messaged Dalton and I told him, like, oh, I feel like crap that I should have said this to Allie, because it's like last week, like, you stepped up big time. Because if you don't keep up with CCW Live, we were doing a thing where Dalton just wasn't talking.
Right.
So it was this, even though there were three of us, it was a 2-person show.
Yeah.
And Allie killed it.
Yeah, and tonight.
And that's why whenever I was like, okay, if Dalton's not going to be on CCW Live, and then you're still, and I was kind of working under the assumption that you still wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I was like, I mean, I feel
it's a long story.
I feel fine about doing a 2-person show with me and Allie, because
I actually
last week weren't.
I liked it. I really did. And what I really like about it is that, and no offense to Shannon, but whenever he's on a show, he has a habit of taking over and like leading, even when he doesn't need to be. So when I'm gone, and when Dalton's gone too, you know, he was gone as well. But when it's you two, you have so much more room to, because you talk quite a bit anyway. But Allie very much kind of quips occasionally, but she does such a good job of when she's presented a chance to do it that I almost think that the show's better without me, like CCW Live especially. No, I mean it. Like, you're giving me a look, but I truly mean it, because Asa does everything that I do, minus the stupid jokes that I throw in
I was
occasionally.
gonna make a joke that would have been one of your jokes, but
Can you tell me what it is?
whenever I was talking about how CCW was haunted, I was like, we're gonna book for an episode of Ghost Adventures to come to CCW.
That's not a joke. Don't tease me. Love Scooby-Doosh in the gang. So yeah, we'll get back to the story, but I really wanted to say that you guys did a great job. And not only that, and I'll say this tomorrow too, but Trevor and Jesse, Lindsay, and Mandy did a fantastic job on Thursday, to where on Sunday, Allie and I spent the weekend in St. Louis, and I legitimately considered not coming back, because I thought those guys are doing such a good job without me. And I thought, you're just being depressed right now, and you're telling yourself that's, but I don't know.
The difference is, and this is more of a not PWU conversation.
It's very not.
But the difference is like, we can handle a week. Like, we can handle it at like an occasional departure. Like, that's fine. But in the long run, those shows will suffer so bad.
You know what this reminds me of? It reminds me of the movie From Dusk Till Dawn.
Why?
Hear me out. Where they're hearing the vampire bats are circling, and I think it's Juliette Lewis's character says, "I don't know how much more of that. I can't take much more of this." And it's what is his name? It's the African American guy, big football player. It's not Jim Brown. I'm not even going to try because I'm going to mess it up. But he tells them, "Sure you can, because you have to." If I left and you say the shows will suffer, no, they'd be fine, because they'd have to be. You guys, whatever spot would empty because I was gone would be filled. You guys would fill the hole. You'd fill it up. Have you seen the new episode of It's Always Sunny?
No.
Okay.
It's not on Hulu.
All right, we're going to watch it. We're going to watch it tonight. We're going to do it. All right, let's get back to wrestling. Jesus. Tell me again you need me. All right, Daniel Bryan re-signs with World Wrestling Entertainment, and I'm glad he did, because as much as I want to see Daniel Bryan go to the indies and wrestle some people like Kenny Omega and those guys, WWE needs Daniel Bryan.
Yes.
He is something that they cannot get with anyone else. He is the most organic babyface I've seen ever. Because I would go, Hulk Hogan was a pretty good babyface, yeah, but they didn't just put the hype machine behind him.
They turned him into the hype machine.
Yeah, he was a Terminator. He was a hype machine with yellow skin and of a hot dog and silken golden hair. Yeah. So good on them, and congratulations to Daniel Bryan. So.
Yeah, and like you said, I would love to see him do stuff with like the Elite guys and all of the There's so many dream matches on the indies right now that you could do. But yeah, all things considered, and I think that's kind of what he was looking at is, he has a family now. I'm willing to bet that if he was single and didn't have a child, or even if he was married to someone who wasn't, also in WWE and very, made their name there,
and maybe a little bit younger,
I feel like this would have been an incredibly difficult decision. Or I mean, not that it wasn't already, but I feel like it would have been. I don't think he would have re-signed if he didn't have those considerations.
I agree with you.
A lot of people are apparently upset at him for staying, which just get GTFO.
Get out of wrestling.
This is, this is his choice. It's his decision to support his family, and he's on the biggest platform in wrestling in the world, undeniably, and he's doing what is right by him for his life. Like, it is a shame that we aren't going to get to see a Daniel Bryan Kenny Omega like match in New Japan, but you're not entitled to that.
Right. He is entitled to live.
Right.
And my biggest hope is that WWE knows how lucky they are in this. Because I said it, Daniel Bryan, they need him more than he needs them. He could
100%.
He could go anywhere and be the next champion.
And people like Cody Rhodes have really proven, and the Young Bucks, like, look at All In and what a success that was. There has been no better time for independent wrestling ever. And if you don't think that he couldn't capitalize on that,
because he's one of the lords of independent wrestling. Like, he was one of those guys that when he got to WWE, I was honestly surprised because so I used to go to you remember PW Insider? That was my go-to site for wrestling news years ago until the ads choked me to death.
Oh yeah, it's so bad.
They used to have an ad on there of Daniel Bryan, and it was for, I think, Ring of Honor. And every time I saw Daniel Bryan's picture on there, it was baby face, no hair. He looked like he was 11 years old. And I remember thinking like, oh, who is that?
But then they book him as the American Dragon, the most dangerous man in pro wrestling.
Right.
And then you watch like 30 seconds of a match, and even though he does like he has that look, it's believable.
Right. Yeah, he comes across as a star. And WWE needs stars because the stars that they have are fading. Like,
I'm super excited to see him lose to Roman Reigns at Survivor Series.
Oh, stop it. We're moving on now. You had to ruin it. Big dog. All right.
Biggity dog.
Smackdown Mall. All right. Renee Young added to the Raw commentary team permanently, replacing Coach.
Yes.
Which is good. I mean, okay, on one hand, I think we agree that we were so glad to see Coach back, and then it never clicked.
Yeah, it
never
was.
Clicked.
We were kind of hoping we were going to get the Coach of old.
Right.
And it wasn't that. It wasn't super enjoyable. And I'll be here to eat crow, and I will totally admit that I was wrong because we talked about her doing commentary on the Mae Young Classic. And I was like, she's not that great on commentary. She's even been vocal about that. But the 2 episodes of Raw that we've gotten, she's done a really, really good job. So, like, I'm happy to be wrong, and I'm super excited for her to be because it does lend a new vibe almost.
Yeah. And with this one, I truly believe. So I have seen some people go automatically to the Me Too movement, like, oh, in this day and age, they have to have a female commentator. But she has a pedigree of interviews, of talent that, like, of all the people to take shots at, Renee Young is the one you want to try to knock down.
If she was terrible, then okay.
Yeah.
But she's their best backstage interviewer
by
that
far.
they have. She does great on anything, like any of those pre-show panels, any of those.
She's been hosting those for years. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think part of it is she has amazing chemistry with everybody.
Yeah.
Like, she has such a good rapport.
She is. You were going to say something before I jump in here.
This is not filling a quota of we need woman here. This is, they are in a way promoting her for all the work that she has done
for the right
company.
Reasons.
Yeah, like, she has worked for a position like this.
Right.
Coach wasn't working out.
He wasn't.
In that
Neither
role.
was Booker T. I don't care what anyone says.
No, yeah.
Renee Young is like, she is the exact thing you think they would look for, and she's incredibly talented, incredibly smart, great chemistry. And then if you want to get to the sleazier side of what is Vince like, she's gorgeous. She is everything that you would want. Like, she literally is perfect. And that people would, like, question this really upsets me. And the person I'm going to point out specifically, and I'm not going to get into super detail, is Sabu.
Oh,
if ever you thought Sabu was anything other than a garbage bag, the thing that, and I'm not going to repeat it because it's disgusting, but he said something incredibly insulting to Renee Young, and I think he maybe even added her.
He tagged her in it because it was simultaneously homophobic and sexist.
Yeah, both at the same time.
Just in one sentence.
He later claimed he was hacked. I truly don't believe that.
Yeah, given some of the things that he's already said on social media.
It's incredibly sad, and it's just sad because Sabu could have been like a legend, and he is just a garbage bag at this point. But congratulations to Renee Young.
Yes.
I'm incredibly happy for her about this. Matt Riddle in the news. Matt Riddle, who I've just learned about in the past couple weeks. He went after Dana White on Twitter. I did not see this.
So pretty much he posted a video of Dana White just absolutely trashing him, calling him garbage. You can't pass a drug test. You'll never go anywhere. You're a failure. Just running him down repeatedly because Dana White apparently hates Matt Riddle. And Matt Riddle just kind of posted that video and was like, "Hey, so remember that time you said all this stuff about me? Thanks, boss." Because
did Matt Riddle ever fight in UFC?
Yeah.
Blows my mind. What a man-child Dana White is.
And that's what's hilarious. Like, someone on Reddit pointed it out, and it's like, yeah, that's actually super funny that you're saying that, Matt Riddle is a garbage person because he smokes weed, yet John Jones was on cocaine and hit and run a pregnant woman, and you won't stop singing his praises. Conor McGregor threw and injured multiple fighters because he threw that the hand truck through a window, injuring multiple people. Saw no jail time, saw no really punishment, and he's in a giant championship fight coming up. You just hired Brock Lesnar, who the last thing in UFC he did was have his win thrown out because he tested positive for drugs.
Yep.
So I don't get what the hate is there. I just thought, I didn't know if that was something we would want to even put in there, just because it's not the thing. It's not the kind of thing that we normally talk about, Twitter drama. But
anytime I can take a shot at Dana White, I have a dislike of Dana White that goes back years. Mm-hmm. He is such a man child and super disrespectful. He looks too much like the lead singer from Disturbed, and I'm not a fan of that. And now Ace has got it in his head.
Yeah.
I just don't like Dana White, and I think it's more of jealousy. Matt Riddle's going to do great in WWE because he's super talented.
Right.
And maybe Dana White didn't know how to promote him correctly, or maybe it just whatever didn't click. But anytime someone turns their back on Dana White, he goes after
petty.
them. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people try to be like, yeah, but Matt Riddle's not going to get the chances in WWE because look what happened to RVD. And I was like, okay, well, that was however many years ago at this point. And RVD's problem wasn't that he was smoking weed. It was that he was caught by the police.
Right.
With Sabu, with drugs in the car.
Yes.
So if Matt Riddle can stay out of legal trouble, I don't think that'll be an issue because at this point, if you test positive for weed, it's a fine. And he's even said that he's willing to give it up if they're going to pay him enough.
Right.
Which we don't have any of those details. I don't think he said... which if he has, please let me know because I'm super curious about that. I
still remember that thing because I think if you watch the video when the cops pull him over, they ask him who they are, and he says I'm RVD wrestler, and the cop's like, yeah, I heard of you, and then it's like, who are you? And Sabu, who is this mysterious, almost Arabian, whatever. He just goes, Terry Bunk. Talk about immersion killing. Oh my god.
Real quick, next story, just because it's fairly breaking considering.
And
it's not really a huge story. I just wanted to mention it because I like when cool things happen. Bound for Glory Impact, which is I'll find the date here in a second, but it is officially sold out. Which is there it is. Come on, Twitter. Bound for Glory is officially sold out. We can't wait to absolutely rock New York City on October 14th for the biggest event of the year. So, it not only is it sold out super early. I just want to give kudos to Impact because they've been doing a lot of really, really good stuff, and we don't give them the attention that they deserve.
True. And since we're talking about hey, good job and breaking news, Dalton actually sent this to us a second ago. I don't know if you want to put that in the show.
I was definitely going to put it on in the show.
We'll just throw it out there now that apparently our good friend, and we can say that because he legitimately is. Mm-hmm. This isn't us going like, yeah, Xavier Woods, close friend.
What?
Huh? Well, not with me. He follows you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't follow me.
Close friend. I mean, so
he's a close friend of yours.
Okay.
No, that's 100% true.
I got you. Yeah, I understand now.
Hey, do me a favor. Would you look over there for a second? I think I left something over there.
I'm lying to him to make him feel better, Allie.
I heard that though.
What? But you weren't looking.
Oh, you're right.
It's like a condenser mic. You have to look at it to hear it. But Marco, the CCW champion, is going to be at the Battle of Los Angeles in night 2 against Trevor Lee.
That's
incredible, Marco.
Awesome. I'm so excited. I'm so happy for him. He's also Marco's one of those people he's a genuinely super nice guy. He's clearly insanely talented. Mm-hmm. But the thing, and I talked to his dad about this at the last CCW show, is just how well he's handling everything.
Other than the sleep deprivation.
Other than the sleep, get some sleep, boy. You need that.
You need sleep.
But even today, there was someone on Twitter just kind of needlessly going after him. And his response was literally like, okay, so Like, this is an opinion you have. Why do you think that? And then he just kind of continued on. He's like, okay, well, have a good day.
So
and it's just like, that is the best way to do that. He's not engaging. He's not getting like super inflammatory. Like,
so yeah, Marco, take it from me. I have some personal advice to give you. Don't buy into what they say. It will drive you insane. Half of my misery right now is based entirely on what someone's opinion of me is. And that's a terrible thing to do, especially for a guy like Marco, who is incredibly talented. And don't let him tell you otherwise. Like, you know who you are. So don't worry about them. In fact, get off of Twitter. Get off of Facebook. Have someone else run it for you, because you are going to blow up.
No,
and
he's
you are going to be the next star.
He's doing a great job on it. Like, because this
but
isn't the
get
first.
to him. Like, you can put a public face on for so long, but it will eat away at you.
It's the thing where, because like ever since the Joey Janela show, like, people have been like, oh, you look like an 11-year-old, and he's just like, okay, like, because it's Marco, and it's just so I like super proud of him for that, and then also just Bola is one of the biggest events in independent wrestling of the year. And for him to be a part of it is absolutely huge, and I'm just so incredibly proud of him.
It's also one of the most infamous moments in history, when the Battle of Los Angeles took place, when the Army, right after Pearl Harbor, shot at a unknown...
This is a different one.
Is this not the same thing?
No. This is a pro wrestling tournament over a few days from Pro Wrestling Guerrilla.
So the Army's not going to shoot at Marco.
But the Foo Fighters will be there.
You know, the term Foo Fighter was actually coined...
I know.
All right, let's talk about WWE 2K. I'm still not getting it. I don't care.
I put this on the list before I knew Dalton wasn't going to be here.
Well, I want to talk about it.
Okay.
I do want to talk about it. It's just every time I see something new from 2K, it looks really cool, and I go, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You're not going to get me.
Okay, so
I got Fire Pro Wrestling World. In fact, when you guys were on CCW Live, and I heard you mention, we don't know what SB's been doing. He's been working on No, he's been playing Fire Pro. I know, because he's on my friends list.
Yes, because I was going to say that.
That's what you should have said.
He's been playing Fire Pro,
and he's doing a great job at it. He has been working.
So he has been in a ring.
Yeah, in Japan, of sorts. So the 2K roster reveal, I believe it is done now, right? All wrestlers have been revealed?
I think this is I do think this was the final reveal of the week.
I'm going to look up how many people there are in it, because
I think there was someone who was pretty
unhappy about not, or actually no, he seemed perfectly fine not being in it.
Because Ciampa isn't in the game. Oh, why is my full page ads I'm not adding your BS site on Snapchat.
Absolutely not.
Why would I ever want that?
Absolutely not.
Ringside News, you should feel bad about yourself.
I actually haven't seen the third week of the reveal, so I don't know who was all in it. I saw Ricky Morton's in it.
British Strong Style is not actually going to be.
One eye was looking at me, one eye was looking at Rick.
Trent Seven isn't in the game.
That's surprising.
That is kind of surprising.
Ciampa's the one that really gets me, though.
Yeah.
Like, you have Gargano, but not Ciampa? I guess because he was injured at one point.
A lot of people are thinking that it just may be like it's a bit.
Then maybe they're playing along with the character.
Kinda, yeah.
Because he could be DLC.
Yeah, I mean, which would be DLC, and if I'm wrong, correct me, and this is, again, more of Dalton's specialty more than mine. Aren't DLC mostly for people who have, like, recently debuted, though? Like,
not always.
They sign with the company before, or it's like a legend who they came to terms with a deal to kind of, like, sell the DLC?
It's not always that way. It usually is, but some of the wrestlers that they've put in as DLC have been kind of surprising. Like, there was one a couple of years ago that it was a women's wrestler. It may have been like Alicia Fox or something, which was like, well, that seems pointless. Not that I don't like Alicia Fox, I do, but to put her as DLC.
But are people going to pay extra?
Well, she should clearly be a box character.
Yeah, she should be in the.
She should be Alicia Box, because she should be in the box.
Alicia Box.
So it's entirely possible that Ciampa's in there, because I don't think any of the people that have been announced so far
and that just goes
will
with,
be DLC.
That just goes with like the shadiness of it. It's like you have an established person. There's no reason they aren't in the base game. You're just trying to bleed your customers for money.
And they will. They will.
I don't know if we're going to talk about it on Nerd Up, but this is totally unrelated. You see that 2K might be taken to court or EA might be taken to court in. No, is it EA?
Is it over microtransactions?
No, it is 2K, because Belgium outlawed microtransactions, and they refused to take them out of like NBA 2K19.
Yeah, so the review, and again, this is off topic, but it's kind of on topic. The review that I saw for 2K19 said it was the best 2K game ever. But it scored less because there's such an emphasis on microtransactions
Right.
that it's very shady.
And they apparently, when they knew that reviewers had the game, they boosted the amount of that stuff you can buy that you have to spend on your created character for single player to put points into. And then once the game hit retail release, they slashed it by like 30%.
And I'm always scared that they're going to do that with the WWE game. Whereas last year they did have a system where you had to get currency to level up.
But it was a whole separate game mode.
Yeah, and it was all in game. It was not DLC. You could not buy currency. You could buy like loot boxes, I think. But I may be wrong on that. I never did much of it.
Yeah, I don't remember because I haven't I've said it before. If you're listening to this for a long time, you're sick of me saying it. But I haven't played a 2K game in years.
And I'm with you on this one. It's not that I don't want to play the game. It's just that like. Show me something new.
And there's
you have
really,
to show me something new.
There really isn't anything new that we've seen so far. Like even some of the animations are not. I think it was Billy Hills posted a thing on Facebook where it's like, the Undisputed Era comes out with the NXT Tag Team Championships, but Kyle O'Reilly isn't playing guitar on the belt. Like that's kind of a thing that he does like every time.
Right.
You could, there's a lot of attention to detail that's really just not.
And plus, a lot of the
there.
wrestlers, even though they may look a little bit better, have the same outfits, the same entrance animations.
The exact same entrance animations.
Yeah.
Like to me, that is almost unacceptable.
Criminal. Yeah.
Like you are just releasing an updated roster of a game that, like, again, a personal opinion, I don't think is that fun.
It can be like I enjoy it. When it first came out last year, and Dalton and I both tried to do whatever the online mode was, where it was like play during the pay-per-view and you unlock specific gear. I remember that night he and I were both in here doing it. I actually had fun because I had a match with a guy and we had a good match, and there was a sense of, oh, that was cool. I won. Maybe that's why I felt that way. But other than that, like I can't really get excited about it. I like creating people. And that's been most of what I do in the video games is just create people, and I never even play it. I just create. It's like The Sims. I create and never play.
On Nerd Up, we were talking about it. He's like, and Dalton was like, I can't get Call of Duty because I'm going to have 2K. And I'm like, you don't even play 2K. He's like, I logged like so many hours into it. And like, you put it on in the background, like you simulate matches while you're working. I think you don't play the game.
Dalton's like me. 90% of what he does in the game is downloading creations. Like, I don't need another Harambe. But that's Rainbow Harambe. That's
rare.
That's different. I'm looking at the roster reveal now for this week's because again I haven't seen it yet, and it upsets me a little bit that like Dusty Rhodes, Rowdy Piper, Macho Man, and Ricky they're labeled as the Woo Edition. Does that mean that they're not normally in the game, or that version of them is just in the Woo Edition?
I honestly don't know.
Also, every one of these characters, short of 2 or 3, have been in games before this. Like, they basically just take all the DLC from the previous games and put them in the new one as base characters. There's not a single legend in here that's new other than... was Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson in the last game?
I honestly don't know.
I don't care.
Because again, this would be... Dalton would know, but he abandoned
Let
us.
me get the Dolphin. Not going to get the Dolphin. But Lana is unhappy with her 2K character model, apparently.
Yes.
I haven't seen it yet. Now I have to look.
So she go to her Instagram, because she posted something where it's a screenshot of it, and she's like, okay, so her character model has shoulder length hair, like it's above the shoulder even, and she's like, so my hair has never been that short while I've worked for WWE. I've never worn this outfit. Who is this supposed to be? But it's Lana.
So you said her Instagram or Twitter?
I'm pretty sure it was her Instagram. It might have been.
Well, let
Twitter.
me look at her Instagram. I have to look at all these pictures of her in various states. So give me a second. This may take a while.
It should be pretty early.
Okay, then it's not on Instagram.
Okay,
these are all modeling shots.
It might be. She may have deleted it.
Possibly. Because there's a good chance that she maybe got in hot water. Because I'm sure that WWE doesn't want their people like
actively crapping on.
making fun of something that they're trying to get money for. Let me check her Twitter real quick.
But like in fairness, it does like the face looks fine, but yeah, her hair like it's super short hair. I don't pay attention to the gear people wear. This is another one where Dalton would probably have a better idea of who wore what and when. But I'm trying to scroll through because I saw it on Reddit and I'm trying to figure out where. But while we're doing that, just real quick.
Also, can I just say before you say that, she has.
Well, before you say that, no.
She has no reason to like be upset at her character model. Did she? Oh, I found it. I think I just found it.
The actual.
Yeah, she said, "Don't worry, WWE Universe. Lana Day score is not low because this is actually Tanya Harding, the professional figure skater making her ring debut. Can't wait to see the Ravishing Russian. Yeah, like that hair is baffling. But did she ever see the way that poor Dana Brooke looked like 2 years ago? Terrible. Dana Brooke is such a talented, lovely looking lady. They made her look like some kind of monster.
Yeah.
Bad.
Someone put what looks like a realistic, like an actual the person that they probably modeled after on I, Tonya.
But
Margot Robbie.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah, that's kind of unsettling. But so real quick, just this isn't a story, but it's funny to me. So Jordan Grace, who another person who's really blowing up in the independent scene,
From All In as well, right?
She was
in the Over
also
the Budget
in
Battle Royal.
Yep. Where she squatted Brian Cage and then got thrown into the turnbuckle. She released a new shirt that's "Show Me Your DMs," and it has a bunch of actual DMs people have sent her, because that's one of the things she likes to do is shame people who are creepy to her on social media. I support that. I support that initiative 100%.
But only if it's legit, and we don't take the Mia Khalifa approach.
Oh yeah, no, like I very much feel like she's not baiting these people into it. But
I would like to see her do a crossover with Crime Watch Daily and Chris Hansen. Been watching a lot of Crime Watch Daily with Chris Hansen.
only because you finished To Catch a Predator.
I can't get, it's all the same clips. I can only watch him go up there with cookies so many times. You know, it's still funny every time.
Well, why don't you just have a seat? We'll get it started.
I swear I wasn't going to do anything, sir. Did you bring condoms? Yeah.
But those are for.
But those were for me later.
Those are for a friend.
Yeah. God. All right, let's talk about The Rock. The Rock's daughter is working out at WWE's Performance Center.
Yes.
Talk about a good pedigree again.
Yeah.
Like that's what is she, third?
She would be fourth generation.
Third generation, fourth. Peter Maivia, Rocky Johnson, The Rock. Yeah, fourth generation. Yeah.
So she, I see, and I didn't know any of this. Apparently, Zelina Vega talked about it, or she mentioned it in an interview that she did, where she's been, she's seen her there. She's not there, she's not there full time. She's still a high school student.
Is she really?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at her now. She does not look like a high school student. She looks like a full grown ass adult.
Is it the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, where she's with The Rock.
Yeah.
She's got that thing where you can definitely see who her father is in it.
Yeah.
That she has that look. Yeah. Ali, you want to come over here and see real quick?
So she's still a high school student, so she can't train full time, of course. She had mentioned in an interview previously that it would be wrestling would be something she'd be interested in pursuing once she graduated college, but apparently she's really kind of taken to it and is really enjoying it. So who knows? I just thought that was kind of an interesting little tidbit that she's working out there, training there a little.
I think that would be very, very cool. I don't know. She clearly has the look. Like she looks like The Rock. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what I mean by it. She has a star look, but it's such big shoes to follow in when it's The Rock, because everyone's going to expect you to be like The Rock. Look at Roman Reigns.
Oh, yeah.
Even WWE basically looked at him and said, can you be The Rock? I'll give it a try, Suffer and Succotash.
Oh,
they don't seem to like it. Maybe another attempt.
Making Charlotte into Ric Flair, though, has worked.
Well, yeah, but
has it?
She was very much more so at the beginning, but I think now she's really put her own flair on it.
I see what you did there.
Do you think
I'm
that?
pretty sure Stevie Wonder saw what I did there.
Do you think? I don't. What?
I don't know. No,
Okay.
that's
Oh,
fine.
did it because do it with flair? I get it. Okay,
Yeah. Asa, can you look over there for just a second?
Yeah. Well,
Just
is there something?
I don't think he gets anything we say.
Again, Oh wait, I didn't see
You
you.
didn't
I didn't
look
get
at me.
That's right. Why do I keep turning around?
I don't know.
There's never anything there's nothing
It's
there.
the same thing every time.
Do you think, on the one hand, of course, there's no way she would be training at the Performance Center if she wasn't The Rock's daughter right now.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think?
That's the foot in the door, though.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
do you think she's going to? Because clearly she's going to get hit with the most unfair expectations based on who her dad is.
Yeah.
Right.
So in the long term, do you think that's something that could? Because we've seen that happen with people like Ted DiBiase,
Yeah.
who
He never quite, and Cody Rhodes even to an extent. All right, so I think there are certain ones that
people have these unfair expectations that you have to do what your parents did.
Right, you have to be like your parents. Now, some cases that actually helps, like in the case of Bray Wyatt, his dad was an IRS agent. So really, there was nowhere to go but up there. Charlotte, I think, actually benefits from the fact that Ric Flair spent most of his time in WCW. So I don't think the same lofty expectations were put on her as opposed to Ted DiBiase or The Rock's daughter when she eventually decides to do this. Even like Tamina and Jimmy Snuka. Like everyone always says, well, she's no Jimmy Snuka.
Right.
Like, well, she shouldn't be. She should be Tamina.
Right.
So I always hate when they put that on it. Well, you are your father's child, so be like your father.
Right.
Or can I be myself? So kudos to Cody Rhodes for going out there and doing it. Dusty Rhodes the same way. The Dustin Rhodes that I dislike the most is Dustin Rhodes from WCW, and I'm going to get shit for this probably, but Dustin Rhodes from WCW, where he was just Dusty Rhodes' son. I'm a cowboy, got my cowboy hat and all that. His work as Goldust eclipses anything he's ever done in anywhere else. And again, I'm gonna get words for that probably, because there's gonna be some WCW purists that go like, no, Goldust is an abomination, and Dustin Rhodes was that pure Southern draw.
I don't know. I mean, if you do, let me know, but I don't think that's a super unpopular opinion.
You think I'm right on that one?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because that felt a little bit less like him being him. It's the weirdest thing that him portraying a more grounded, realistic version of who he actually is was less believable than Goldust. But maybe it's just because you're so accustomed to Goldust and you're like, okay, you can get that weird. There's no way you're just a guy. And even though he definitely, absolutely is just a guy.
But that just shows you how good he is at being Goldust. Goldust is so iconic compared to like Dustin Rhodes was a good wrestler. Goldust is a legend.
Didn't he also go by the Natural?
The Natural Dustin Rhodes? Yeah. Or Dustin. Yeah, it was Dustin Rhodes. Yeah. Because I forget sometimes he.
No, wasn't it Dustin Runnels?
See, I don't remember. And that's the part that's going to drive me crazy.
I didn't think he could do. Well, no, Dustin. I don't know. Dalton.
Yo. Let's
What is this show?
Let's move on. I told you. I warned you. So the NWA Championship, apparently now it can be defended anywhere it makes sense for all involved.
That is a very loose. Someone asked. Oh, I'm totally blank. Billy Corgan. I kept wanting to say Billy Idol. And
I wish.
If Billy Idol owned
it's a perfect
NWA,
day for a white wedding.
If Billy Corgan, now that Cody's champion, if it would only be defended in like ROH or New Japan, and he said it could be defended anywhere that it makes sense for all involved. So it's kind of an open, like the NWA Championship was defended here at CCW
against Austin Lane,
which was super awesome. First time in 17 years the NWA Championship was defended in Missouri. So that kind of is super cool that it kind of opens the door, and it really also kind of drives that narrative that Cody and the Bucks and all of the like those Bullet Club guys can do just whatever they want, wherever they want.
They're the new clique in wrestling, except instead of it just being one promotion. It's all promotions
pretty
are
much
theirs.
Everything except for WWE.
Yeah, it's like you could
and kind of Impact.
You could just see like Kenny Omega holding them all up over the canyon and said, "Everything the light touches is yours."
What's that shadowy place? That is NXT.
Yeah, you can't go there.
Don't go there.
You can't go there. And then you just see Scar over there, but Scar is Ciampa.
You just hear Adam Cole, the ghost of Adam Cole. I need
cool.
fan art. Like we don't get fan art.
We need more fan art of these things.
I need the Bullet Club as Lion King, and just the NXT like Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong are the Hyenas.
Yeah. Do you want
Scar
actual like fan art of this?
Oh, here we go.
I want
a rendering, or do you want just like a bad meme where they copy paste the heads of these people on the characters?
I got a guy. Caleb Tripp. I know you're listening. Make it happen.
Why do I have to choose though?
Yeah.
One is significantly quicker than the
Well,
other.
yeah, but I want both.
Get you a joke that can do both.
Yeah.
So we might see the NWA Championship in CCW again. You don't know.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
The sky is the limit. It really, really is. Was that the last time Nick Aldis defended the title before he lost it?
It might have been.
I don't know for sure.
Because weren't they a week apart?
Yeah, because All In was the next weekend.
Yeah.
So it would.
So that's pretty cool that Nick Aldis his last successful defense was against our Austin Lane, our national treasure, Austin Lane. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And now Cody Rhodes has it. That's an incredible. The Incredibles.
Gonna,
Right.
Cody
see if I can
Rhodes
find
is
that.
like a life-size Ken doll.
Cody Rhodes is.
Yes.
He dyed his hair blonde again.
What made you think of that?
I think.
That's all I think of now with Cody Rhodes.
I thought she was going to say, that's all I think about is Ken dolls now.
I thought she was gonna say all I think about is Cody Rhodes. Oh
My laughing
God.
stopped.
And your deadpan made me continue to laugh.
She only laughs when I hurt. It's
So
arcade.
she's always laughing then, huh?
Yeah. It's an old arcade comic from X-Men. Remember Arcade?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
My brain went to Penny Arcade, and I was like,
That's a good one, too.
I don't read that a lot.
Speaking of Cody and Nick Aldis, they do have a rematch at the NWA 70th anniversary in Nashville.
Yes, I meant to put the date on there, so I'm gonna look that up real quick.
While you're doing that, WWE has announced their tell-all...
Oh no, hang on. We need to save that because
Saving that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
So, Allie, came out this week that you mothered some illegitimate children.
What? That's news to me.
It's an SNL bit.
weren't you there?
Illegitimate.
How do babies work?
Well, so
There's a subway
first they have to
that
go through
okay, so-
NXT, and then they go to the main roster.
when an NXT loves an independent wrestler. NWA 70th anniversary show will be at the Nashville Fairgrounds on October 21st. And then that is where the Nick Aldis will get his rematch against Cody Rhodes. I don't know if that is going to be Cody Rhodes' first NWA title defense. It very well could be.
So my question to you on this is, do you see them putting the title right back on Nick Aldis and this was just a publicity thing for All In? Or do you think they're going to stick with Cody Rhodes for a while?
Man, I honestly hope not. Like, because I feel like
Which
that would,
one?
I hope that they aren't just hot-shotting it to
Okay.
Cody and then just immediately back to Aldis, because I feel like that would really cheapen everything that Dusty did for the NWA title and
Right.
how much that... I don't want to say cheapen. I don't want to say cheapen at all, because that's the bad way to put it. I feel like...
Tarnishes?
I do feel like this is a chance for Cody to help reestablish the NWA title as a legitimate, important championship, and as NWA as an important, legitimate company.
And that's
on
not
the
to take a shot at
independent
Nick Aldis.
scene. Not at all. Not at all. Because Nick Aldis really kind of like... And again, and not to take a shot at Tony Storm, who was the person you're like, I recognize him, that came out with Aldis's team.
Did you say Tony Storm?
Did I?
Yeah.
What was I supposed to say?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know his name.
But he was the former he was the NWA champion that Nick Aldis beat.
But Tony Storm is the female wrestler.
Oh, that's
yeah.
friggin'...
It's okay. It's okay. That's why Dolphin's here. Allie, give me a lol. Give me Braun doing it. Oh, that's so creepy.
That's money.
Oh my God.
Vince, keep that one on us.
Tommy Storm, maybe? Let's just change a couple letters.
But
I'm gonna look up Tommy Storm.
But like Nick Aldis did a really good job of making the... I can't talk.
Okay, no, I got it. Tommy Storm is the first novel by Irish author A.J. Healy. The protagonist is Tommy Storm, a boy aged 11 and a half who experiences friendship and love.
I don't think that was... I'm willing to bet. Wikipedia saved the day.
So proud of this one.
There's a Subway that had to put up a sign that says Ouija boards and seances are not allowed to be performed in this shop.
Why not?
What did you do, Jackson?
Haunt
Tim
your
Storm.
own house.
Dear Lord.
Thank
Tim
you.
Storm.
I couldn't... So many people I'm gonna get the messages of like, dear Lord.
You don't even know wrestling.
Yeah. Tony Storm.
You only know WWE.
I know-
Big dog.
I knew biggity dog. I knew it was a T Storm.
Ow.
Tim Storm. But so when
my
Nick,
cartilage.
I feel like Nick Aldis and with the 10 pounds of gold stuff that they did really kind of helped elevate it a little bit. But Cody Rhodes is undeniably more mainstream, more well known, and as he can appear on ROH and New Japan with that NWA championship, I think it's going to elevate it there.
Or in CCW.
Or in CCW, or
Cody.
anywhere else that he
Or
goes.
Podzilla.
Absolutely.
Everyone's dying to get on here. Aaron Brooks just posted a message on the Dolphin thing. He
Yeah.
says, I want on this show.
Do you though?
Do you?
Listen to this.
I think his insanity would be welcome here.
But I hope that they don't just immediately take it off of Cody, because I do think that he could really breathe new life and exposure to,
He takes it to new heights.
NWA. Exactly.
Yeah. It's not a shot at anyone that had it before, but as you build and as you progress, new blood and stuff like that, like it's just the way of the business.
Yeah.
It's just the way of the beast.
Exactly.
Let's talk about that oral history book, because you seem to have a thing.
Okay, so this is WWE announced that this is an uncensored, unabashedly, unapologetic, true history of WWE.
Well, that's a lie.
Vince McMahon.
Hello, he lied.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's my thing. It's like, oh, Vince McMahon made a statement we're really pulling the curtain back. No holds barred, no pulled punches, and it's like bull fucking shit.
Well, which one's the chapter about Jimmy Snuka killing his girlfriend?
Right. Or,
I was sorry, that shook me.
or background noise.
Yeah.
Vince helping cover that up.
Yeah.
Or,
The Chris Benoit murder.
The Chris Benoit. Honestly, I do think they would cover that, but they won't go into why about
Right.
him
The
having the
concussions
brain
and
of an
stuff like that.
80-year-old dementia patient.
How about where's the chapter on Jesse Ventura trying to start a wrestlers union and being snitched out by Hulk Hogan?
Yep. Where's the
Where
chapter?
are those things at?
Where's the chapter on all of the sexual abuse allegations?
Yeah.
Trading sexual favors for position in the company.
Yeah.
Or the rape allegations from the first actual female referee.
Dude,
that
this is gonna
WWE
be an incredible book.
Yeah, and it's
and
just
all that's in there.
Can you believe that DX invading WCW really kind of turned the tables in the Monday Night Wars? Unbelievable.
Wow. See, no, they're pulling the curtain
So,
back. It was actually, you might not know this, but when Mick Foley won this title for the first time, Tony Schiavone made a joke about it.
Ooh.
Immediately, the people turned to Raw to watch Mick Foley win.
It's just that, it's just going to
Unknown.
It's going to be the revisionist history BS, and I would love to be wrong, because we've talked about it before, how fascinating an actual documentary telling the entire story of not only WWE, WWF, but Vince McMahon would be. But
I bought remember the McMahon DVD? Yeah. I bought it because I thought the same thing, and it was such a fluff piece, revisionist bullshit that the same thing they did with Rise and Fall of WCW, the Monday Night Wars. That's what I'm thinking of. It was so one-sided that there's no way that they would ever. They're not going to release anything that can make them look bad.
No.
It's not going to happen. Donald Trump is not touting the new Bob Woodward book, Fear, available
not
as of yesterday.
Not intentionally.
Oh. So apparently people like to send me things when I tell them I want it. So there's this book called Fear by Bob Woodward. If you're listening, send it my way.
I also like things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you say, the show's fine without me. No one else is getting gifts.
Yeah.
Blame Zane Laney.
I do.
For everything.
Specifically.
You also got my mount and WoW.
Blame Press Start to join.
I do. I still haven't gotten an Overwatch loot box.
Let's move on.
No.
Let's move on with
I'm
the
making
show.
enemies.
So when does this book come out? Legitimately.
I don't think they announced it.
Okay,
I
so
think
this was just announced?
Yeah, I think it was just announced.
Well, if you like fluff pieces, if you like lips pressed firmly to your ass, go ahead and check out the tell-all oral history book from WWE. I can't wait till they talk about the women's movement and how they are on the forefront of evolution. And then they have the picture of Trish Stratus on all fours where she's barking like a dog in her thong and bra for Vince.
Or them, performing in a country where those women aren't allowed to go and they're actually about to behead one for protesting peacefully.
Right.
Crazy. It's
a good book.
Day Street Books, DEY Street Books, will be releasing a tell-all book on the company.
And this is authorized?
Written by journalists Craig Marks and Rob Tannenbaum. Marks writing a tell-all book.
God.
And they are receiving unprecedented access to Vince McMahon.
You know why that's you know how you know that's bullshit? Because the last time that happened, do you remember the last time that happened? Beyond the Mat with Barry Blaustein, I think was his name. When he legitimately got access to WWE that no one had before.
Also,
because they thought he was going to do a puff piece on WWE, and it turns out to be a really critical look at the world of professional wrestling, and they really hated the whole Mick Foley thing to the point that they denounced the book, they trashed it and all that. No way Vince McMahon is going to go, yes, please, have access again.
Especially because, I'm sure when you talk about, WWF, the phrase steroid scandal isn't going to come up at any point.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, don't worry about it. It's really nothing that happened. A bunch of crybabies making a big deal about nothing.
I hate that.
This will be an unapologetic look at the
Carrots.
good, the bad, and the ugly, and the journey that made WWE into the global phenomenon it is today, Vince McMahon said. So, fluffy.
This is the sequel to Handjob Cabin.
Why do you keep bringing it up?
I like that this is a recurring bit, but I have not heard those words put together. Different show.
We'll watch that after It's Always Sunny.
For Allie's sake, we're moving on.
Let's talk about Raw.
Yeah. Let's.
I have no idea what happened.
Well, in Handjob Cabin.
No.
All I know about Raw is that Mick Foley came back for a not pointless. Like, I don't want to be too critical of it because it is a Hell in a Cell match, and when you think of Hell in a Cell, the first two names you think of are Mick Foley, The Undertaker.
It is the 20th anniversary. I think it's the 20th. It's
Close
the anniversary.
Close enough.
It's the anniversary of Mick Foley going
almost
off,
dying.
Yeah.
You've seen that clip, right, Allie?
Probably.
Where Mick Foley gets thrown off the top of the cell by The Undertaker. He goes through a table. It's
Yeah.
basically
Through
what
the
Shane
announcer
McMahon's done, but it looked somehow worse.
Well, because
there's no pad under it.
Shane McMahon had the crash pad underneath it. So he's going to be the special guest referee for Strowman and
Reigns. The big dog.
Hell in the Cell's this Sunday.
Oh.
Whoops. So that's happening. I want to see which matches are actually in the cell.
Let's skip Raw and SmackDown. Just tell me I'll look it up real quick. Tell me the big things from it, and we'll talk about Hell in a Cell.
Raw had I don't even know.
That shows you the impact.
Yeah, like it was kind of a nothing show, which is sad because it was this was the first one that they had NFL head to head, I think. And it was also the lead-in show for Hell in a Cell.
Oh my God! Have you seen the promotional poster for Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, Allie.
It's this is why we need the video.
I think I actually saw that and I thought it was fake.
Holy shit!
I'm assuming you're reacting because of how much you love it.
It's kind of bad. It's
It looks like something that I would see whenever you're scrolling through like Hulu trying to find a bad horror
film.
movie to watch.
It's like Azazel is fighting Fin Fang Foom.
Oh, you're so right. Oh, that hurts a little.
Oh my God. Okay. Raw. Neck.
I want Braun as Krampus now.
We already had Goldberg as Santa, so Zach likes that one.
He was evil Santa though. I honestly nothing super stands out.
Oh wait, okay. There's one thing I wanted to mention.
Mick Foley did the segment with Elias and announced that he was going to be the guest referee for Braun and Roman.
Kevin Owens attacked Lashley. Did you guys? I didn't get to listen to last week's all of PW. I didn't catch the Raw recap. Did you discuss the whole Kevin Owens quits is back the next week
and how it was totally
and they've
meaningless?
forgotten it completely? What a terrible thing! Why do they hate Kevin Owens so much?
He at least did a promo. At least this week's promo kind of not excused it, but they covered it by talking about he can do whatever he wants. He talked to Stephanie McMahon. She convinced him to stay. He kind of just gets to do what he wants, go where he wants. He blames Lashley for his best friend Sami Zayn being out, which
that kind of makes sense.
Which storyline is true,
right?
So I mean,
did they explain why he helped Braun Strowman after Braun Strowman tried to murder him so many times?
See, no, and that's something that we did talk about because it was
the whole villain, the enemy of my enemy thing again that you hate so much.
Yeah.
We're bad guys, so we're bad guys
all
together.
So now we're on this. We're on the same.
I
side.
also hate. I know from Raw that the Shield came out and pretty much demolished all the heels on Raw.
Oh, that was actually
Good
something
job.
that I wanted to talk about because not only did they take out your entire your lower card, but why were the authors of Pain involved in that?
Yeah, that blew my
to
mind.
To only then be given a crazy squash match, but you just got demolished by 3 guys and you had 20 on your side.
Also, why is Drake Maverick their manager?
Yeah, that's just.
There are so many questions that I have about this, and I don't want the answers.
We got a weird segment with Lashley and Leo Rush. I kind of dug that.
Yeah, that was pretty. I saw that. That was pretty good.
I think that would work better if Lashley was turning heel, because Leo Rush is the annoying mouthpiece.
Mega dick.
Yeah, could be interesting. But
Danielle Fishel loves him.
But he's about to. If he's about to feud
Topanga.
with Kevin Owens, then I don't know where that's gonna come into effect. I don't know.
I'm not looking forward to it. That's all I know.
Yeah, and just like people that had like Kevin Owens was out there, Elias was out there. Why? Why are you getting?
Why do you have to have the Shield demolish everybody? Like, I've never understood that booking. Remember back in the 90s and the early 2000s, especially the 90s, when they would have just a match in the ring, and then Stone Cold or The Undertaker would come in and obliterate everyone in the ring and then take over. I always hated that because you make everyone else look weak, then no one's going to buy them when you put them in a position to be taken seriously.
Do you remember when John Cena and Randy Orton beat the entire Raw roster?
Yeah. Like, shit like that doesn't make any sense to me, and it's short-term booking. It's, well, we'll get the pop tonight, and sure, you'll get the pop tonight, but if you don't think there are any long-term ramifications when you do something like this, poor Zack Ryder's never recovered, Kurt Hawkins never had a chance, and he'll never have a chance. I guarantee you within the next 6 months, they will put Kurt Hawkins in a U.S. No, what's on Raw? Is it the U.S. title? Or the Intercontinental?
That's the Intercontinental.
Okay. They will put Kurt Hawkins in an Intercontinental feud for one show, for one pay-per-view, because that's what they do. And they'll give him a big victory to make you think that he has a chance. He'll probably beat somebody like Lashley or I don't know, a top mid-card guy.
Who's the Intercontinental Champion now? Is it Rollins?
It's Rollins.
It is still Rollins. Okay.
Yeah. So the Shield are the last people that need to beat up everybody. Everybody knows how tough the Shield are. This made no sense. This was a bad segment. I'm giving it a downvote.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I what culture there for a second.
It was awful. I hate when they do stuff like that as well.
And then SmackDown also happened.
SmackDown had Miz and Bryan continue to be the best thing in wrestling right now, I think. Not in wrestling, in WWE. I liked how Miz actually like put his hands on Brie and like dragged her out of the ring, and then Bryan exploded on him after that.
It's funny to me, and I get that I was always the Bella defender. Sometimes seriously, sometimes not seriously. The amount of hate the Bellas have gotten for coming back at all still just surprises me. I don't get it. Like, no, they're not the greatest ever. And yeah, they're pushed. Maybe they're pushed a little bit too hard because of who they're married to, whatever. But like, there are people that are literally saying they don't belong there. They've done nothing. They've been there longer than anybody else. Nikki is a competent wrestler who was very popular. Like, I don't get what you people want.
My only defense against what you're saying is I think they're using Brie correctly on SmackDown. She's Daniel Bryan's wife. She showed up to help defend her husband because Miz constantly uses Maurice.
Right.
So of course she's coming to even the score.
But then Raw, it's like a different character.
But then on Raw, it's totally different. And also, like, if the rumor is that Nikki Bella is the one who's going to face Ronda Rousey at Evolution, I totally understand people complaining about that. Because yes, Nikki Bella is a competent wrestler. And I don't think she should be punished because she's married to John Cena or she's engaged or whatever that nonsense is now. But at the same time, like, she hasn't been there.
No.
She's just coming in and now taking wins. You know, she's beating the Riot Squad, which honestly, at this point, whatever, they were trading wins with, you know,
everybody,
Sasha and Bayley a couple weeks ago. So, but I think it's less, you know, oh, they don't deserve to be in WWE, because I don't believe that at all. That's stupid. But I do, like, I'm a little annoyed that it's not someone who has been there from the beginning, like from not the beginning, but like since the women's revolution started in earnest. And I think at least us here would agree that that's mostly with the 4 Horsewomen and NXT.
It was right at the tail end of Nikki Bella and the surgence of the Horsewomen.
And like, so like Nikki Bella and AJ Lee were there like at the ground level.
They were like transition.
But they were transitioning from to when the women were actually taken seriously as competitors. So I don't want to try to discredit anything that they did, because you also had like Beth Phoenix and people like that. But it really, really started with Bayley Sasha at TakeOver being one of the best matches WWE had ever had, not just women's match, but in general. And so it bothers me that, you know, that should be like Sasha or Bayley, and not, which if they're going to, you know, if they're doing the women's tag team, I almost said Divas tag team, dear Lord. If they're doing the women's tag team championship, okay, that's, you know, that's fine there. But if they're not doing that and they're just in like a random tag team against, you know, the Riot Squad again, that's such a waste. And I don't think that's right. But again, I'm not near at the level of hatred that a lot of the internet is.
Allie, do you think some of the vitriol that's been spit out about all this is, do you think that it's more so because they're women's wrestlers? Like, because Nikki Bella, like, there's still that mentality of wrestling fans who are predominantly male that they're not backing her, and it's worse because it's a women's wrestler. Like, if it had been, I don't know, Brock, well, in a way, they see Nikki Bella as the female legend. She's the John Cena of the women's division. You know what I mean? Like, they see her that way. They see her that way, I think.
And you even have, like, Trish Stratus.
Yeah, but she's not going to be... She's not involved all the time.
But that's what I mean, is, like, she comes... Like, her match gets announced via Twitter.
Right.
And Nikki Bella's stepping into, like, this huge story designed for her to build her towards this championship opportunity.
I truly believe that they think there's more money in Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella than Ronda Rousey versus Trish Stratus. I truly believe that. And I disagree, but I believe they see it.
I don't know if I disagree, just because of how long Trish has been out.
Back
to your question.
The question of, is this worse?
Is it worse because she's a woman?
She's a woman. I don't know. That's hard to say. In a lot of cases, it could be worse. There's probably a lot more sexist comments made. But
for sure.
The fact that the anger is there, I'm not sure it's because of a woman, but the things they're saying are probably because she's a woman.
I'd say wrestling fans are the worst, and we have said that before on the show. Mm-hmm. But really, humanity's kind of scummy as a whole.
It's true.
Let's talk about what Asa wants to talk about.
SmackDown also had more Hardy Orton stuff, more AJ Joe stuff. I liked the empty arena promo that AJ did. I thought that worked. That was
just stole that from us though with Austin.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
See, but ours isn't there yet, so everyone's going to think we knocked them off.
I hate that. That's the same thing that Paladins ran into with Overwatch. Mm-hmm. Sucks.
What else? There was something else I wanted to mention.
Yo.
It's gone.
It's probably not worth mentioning.
It's fine. Well, if we're talking about Hell in a Cell, we'll talk about it,
Let's talk about Hell in a Cell. Let's go over the matches real quick. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre, and that's this Sunday, are taking on Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose for the Raw Tag Team Championships. This is an opportunity for the Shield to literally have every title.
Yep, and I genuinely think we talked about it last week. That's why I genuinely think that they put the tag titles on.
Transition?
Yeah, they took them off of the B team, just so now Rollins can have the tag and Intercontinental belt.
How do you feel about that?
I mean...
Is that's unprecedented in this era, isn't it? Has there been because even when Evolution was in there, they never held every title.
They did.
They held every title?
I thought they did.
They might have.
I thought Triple H
remember.
Triple H had the big gold. Batista and Flair were tag titles, and Orton had Intercontinental.
That's entirely possible.
I know Orton and they had the Intercontinental and the tag titles at the same time. I feel like they had all of them, but I'm not 100% sure. But the only reason that I'm not... I like Drew and Ziggler as a team, and I really kind of like the focus that they've given Ziggler because now he actually feels legit. Finally.
He feels better now than he has in a long time.
In a very long time, and I love that.
Still cautious.
And I love McIntyre. So I hate for them to be transitional champions for the Shield. I also don't like this weird, like, we're not the Shield, but we are the Shield thing that they're doing all the time.
I saw that where it was like, we'll kick you out if you're the Shield, but only two of them showed up. They're like, well, we're not the Shield if there's only two of us.
Yeah, like it's...
Well, the Four Horsemen was still the Four Horsemen if only Arn and
Tully were there.
Yeah, they showed up. So I don't buy that.
Yeah, so that's my one complaint. I also think that they missed a huge opportunity to keep Braun face and have the Shield be like, no, he worked so hard for this. No one's taking it away from him.
From what I understand, from what I read, and it's the internet, so you have to accept it as gospel, was that the reason they did that with Braun was that no one will be mad when he loses his cash in. You know, because if he was still face Braun fighting Shield would get booed out of the building for Braun losing. But if they turn Braun a bad guy, then now that he cashes in and loses it, maybe the internet won't be as upset that he's losing his cash in. That's the theory that I saw, and it's a solid theory.
I mean, yeah, but imagine if you didn't have to go to those lengths to keep the crowd from crapping all over your product.
Imagine if you didn't have to do that every show with Roman Reigns to trick the crowd into not being upset at him. I don't understand. He's the number one merch seller. There's your...
Which he
for everyone that always goes, well, why if it's this bad, why do they keep doing it? That's why. Because he makes money.
Well, and it's but at the same time, like, it's kind of nuts that he passed John Cena to earn that title. Cena hasn't been on TV since WrestleMania. Oh, that was another thing from Raw. They did a great job hyping. They're doing a fantastic job of hyping this Triple H Undertaker match for Hell in a Cell.
They really are. Yeah.
Oh, wait. House show in Australia.
That's
3 a.m.
Sort of a house show.
Set your network DVRs.
It's amazing to me how much effort they put into that. They brought freaking Shawn Michaels back, who cut a killer promo with The Undertaker
who
about
is who is rumored to come out of retirement in a tag match at the Saudi Arabia show.
Yeah, because, and I forget, I think it was Henry was in here the other day, and he was talking about how one of the things he liked about Shawn Michaels so much was that when he said he was gone, he stayed gone. Why would he come back now? And I said, dude, they have so much money. Mm-hmm. You can be as strong-willed as you want to be, but if the right paycheck, if they drove a dump truck full of money up to your house, you're going to pimp that Canyonero, Krusty.
Canyonero.
That's a Simpsons reference.
It
missed
is.
me. Remember that. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch for the
She was
Women's
with you
Championship.
last week.
Well, she still missed me.
That's
Because even when she's with me, I'm not there. Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch. This is the match that should have happened. Or
This is one of the matches that should be in a Hell in a Cell match.
yeah, and Becky Lynch, I hope wins. I know she won't, but Becky is riding high on the most organic face turn. That's not supposed to be a face turn.
She was already the most organic face that they had. Like, that wasn't named Daniel Bryan.
And they thought, let's turn her heel. And the crowd went, no, we got this. She's A-okay
And
with
allegedly
us.
now they're changing, they're course correcting to kind of make both. They're trying to do where neither is the face or the heel.
Keeping it nice and neutral.
Yeah.
They'll see how that works. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton in a Hell in a Cell. I'm not
excited to see Jeff Hardy die.
right.
There was someone on Reddit who was like, Jeff Hardy, yeah, I don't do swanton bombs at house shows anymore because it really hurts my back. Also Jeff Hardy, and it was him doing the swanton that missed onto the apron.
That was gross.
Yeah.
I don't use the term gross often, but gross.
So if that's going to he's going to jump off the top of the cell, and it's not going to go well. I don't want to see a man cripple himself.
Hey, speaking of gross and possibly crippling, Ronda Rousey defends against Alexa Bliss. I say that because every time they wrestle, or every time Ronda does anything, she gets so excited and she starts jerking arms and throwing people around. I'm scared that someone's going to get actually hurt, and maybe I'm wrong. Dalton would actually be really good right now to talk to us about in the ring. He's been in the ring. He can tell us how they keep it safe even when it looks bad.
When we were watching it with Justin, and he was like, slow down.
He was.
Like, because he was legitimately concerned. He had those same concerns. So I just hope that they don't make Alexa look like an absolute joke again.
Like the first match.
2 shows in a row, yeah.
Yeah, but also, how do you not make her look like a joke? Well, I guess this is in a cell, right? No, it's not.
This is a normal match.
Okay. That's stupid. Okay, whatever. If Alexa Bliss couldn't hurt Ronda Rousey the first time, I'm going to steal from Brandon Barbwire here, then what the hell makes you think that she can hurt her the second time?
Yeah,
Ronda Rousey literally turned her back and gave her a free shot. And
covered her eyes, yeah.
And couldn't even hurt her with a chokehold. There's no way that you can make me believe that Alexa Bliss can hurt Ronda Rousey at this point, and that's what your stupid-ass booking does.
Which, if you at least, like, if they give her a competitive match, then I think that will kind of help that, and people won't really consider that as much, but I don't think they will. And that just...
And it might be, Allie, is it too little too late at this point?
It's only been one match.
But it was a bad one.
It was. But I think people still really are behind Alexa Bliss enough.
Which they shouldn't be. She's the bad guy.
Well,
I get what you're saying.
as
I get
a
what
wrestler,
you're saying. Yeah.
that they can probably fix it. But if they keep doing this, they're just going to ruin it.
Then we have Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, which will not be this low on the card.
No, that's going to be the main event.
And
with Mick Foley as the special guest referee.
Will the crowd boo Roman Reigns out of the building?
Yes.
Or do you think they've stacked
unless
the deck enough?
Unless he comes out with the Shield.
Oh, he will. He will definitely come out with the Shield. New Day versus Rusev and Aiden English for the tag titles. That's a great match.
The New Day
That's
versus Rusev Day.
What if they joined forces and they formed the super stable, the new Rusev Day?
The new Rusev Day.
Rusev.
I'd be on board with that. I think that someone is turning in this match.
Aiden English?
Well, I mean, so on SmackDown, they won the match because he sacrificed himself, ate the brogue kick, Sheamus turns around into the Machka kick, and that's how they won. So I don't know if either during or after the match, like Rusev finally snaps and turns on Aiden, Aiden turns on Rusev. I think that they have been trying to plant seeds of dissension with Big E as well.
That would be the shock turn.
He was the one that was injured whenever they won the tag team titles. His ribs were injured from the Bludgeon Brothers, so he wasn't involved in that match. He kind of did the thing with Booker T, with King Booker, which you could make the argument that was just, fun and games. It was joking around, but it's a little. So I think that they could be planting seeds there of something, and I don't want it to ever happen. Like, let them become singles competitors and,
Still be a group.
Yeah.
Because I really do think that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods will suffer if Big E's not there. Not because they're not good, but because they won't get the attention.
The focus will be split
entirely on Big E. That they'll become the Marty Jannetty of the group, which is really sad. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe for the WWE Championship. It'll be another good match, but
this one's also not in a cell, right?
no.
Why? Again,
The only cell matches are Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton for some reason, and then Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman.
Yeah, like you actually. So my complaint with these gimmick pay-per-views is that they never feel like the matches are earned, and then you have a feud like Joe and AJ or Charlotte and Becky that actively feel like they belong in a cell, but it goes to Hardy Orton. I almost said Horty.
Hardy here's a Rusev. Sorry.
Which the only reason that one's in a cell is because it has been built as like super hardcore from the beginning, but it doesn't.
They don't fit.
Why do you only need two?
Why not have every match in the cell? Isn't that the damn point of the gimmick?
See, and I get that they don't want to do that. Like, I understand that, even though, it's kind of, I hate these branded pay-per-views like this. It's dumb. You should have I'm rambling.
I miss when Hell in the Cell was
hungry.
a specialty match that they put on. I miss when Money in the Bank was a specialty match, and it wasn't the whole pay-per-view.
See,
when Money in the Bank was at WrestleMania,
that was huge.
I
loved that.
That was incredible.
And it's the same thing with, like, Elimination Chamber kind of gets a pass because I feel like it's harder to weave like 6 people into that kind of story.
Right.
Plus, it is a nice little, okay, you want a main event shot at WrestleMania, you have to endure this. I like that. I don't like that the champion usually has to defend in one of them, but whenever they built to like, it was so much better when they could just organically get to this point.
Right. And then finally, Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus the Miz and Maurice.
Yes.
Which will may be a great or terrible match. It really depends on how much they bring their working shoes. I think it'll be fine.
Oh yeah,
because Maurice was always one of my favorite female wrestlers, and women's wrestlers. I feel offensive when I say female, and I don't know why. Women's wrestlers,
because that term has kind of been co-opted by like a weird segment of the internet.
I don't want to be the part of that segment. And then Brie Bella, I've always liked and I always thought she was good. I think Nikki's better as a wrestler, but whatever. It's going to be a pretty good pay-per-view. We'll, of course, watch it here at Podzilla Central or PZC, and we'll definitely order Marco's. Okay, last thing tonight before we get out of here, let's talk about Stride.
Yes. That was this past Saturday at the Carterville.
I was in St. Louis. I could not make it to the show.
It was the
Allie was also
Free
in
Fair
St.
Day.
Louis. I know Dalton took a piñata.
Yes. She thinks he might have gotten like a slight concussion. Which I hope not. Brian Richards defeated String Bean, who is not someone.
Jesus Christ!
Is not someone that I have seen yet.
Was it Zach Price?
RWO defeated the DR Party and the Midwest Monster Hunters to become the new Stride Tag Team Champions.
That's pretty cool. I'm happy for those guys.
I asked Dalton for the results, and he's like, Matthias beat Joey O'Reilly, I think. So
good job.
Thanks for the results.
Magnifico beat Mr. Anthony. Riser and Wraith defeated Spade and Aaron Brooks, and then Jay Wells and Tony Flood defeated Heath Hatton and Axe Allwart. Oh, also Billy Hills defeated Chris Hargis by disqualification after Hargis gave him the old Nakamura, just right in front of the ref.
I want to call that the Joey O'Reilly after what happened to poor Billy Hills.
And then Jay Wells and Tony Flood defeated Heath Hatton and Axe Allwart after Chris Hargis attacked Axe with Axe's chain and draped Jay Wells over Axe to get the pinfall in that tag team match.
Good job for Jay Wellington Beauregard. He has worked very hard, and I want all the great things to happen for him. He's a great guy, too.
Legit, one of my favorite things was the picture of Lane doing the giant, like, monster truck tire.
Yeah.
And then Beauregard lifting just the spare. It made me so happy to see.
I love those guys so very, very much.
I love Stride. I love those guys. Yeah, they're it's a great group. They have another show coming up soon that we'll preview when it gets a little bit closer to that. But
as we will for CCW when they come back to Cape Girardeau at the Shawnee Parkway on the 29th of September.
So next week we'll do that.
Is it next week?
It's not this Saturday. It's the week. Is it not next week?
No, it's the 29th. Next week's the 22nd.
Yeah.
Oh, then we got to
2
slow.
weeks.
Oh, then we got to slow down on CCW Live.
I wondered about that. You should start doing one match per show.
We can't do that though because we don't always have this much time between.
All right, next week will
we might
just be
take next week off.
a complete stand-up routine with Dolphin Anthony.
I'm on board with this.
Yes, night at the Apollo featuring Dolphin Anthony. All right, let's get out of here. You guys hungry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. We're gonna get out of here. I want to thank you guys for listening to Pro Wrestling Unscripted. It's good to be back, and I'm glad to see my friends. And Asa, remind me of how we leave this show.
It's by telling you to go to facebook.com/Podzilla1985 if you want to see our Dolphin Anthony video and more Dolphin Anthony videos to come, because there will be more.
Oh, he's an internet sensation.
Facebook,
literally, number one trending worldwide right now, Dolphin Anthony. Don't look it up.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Don't waste your time.
Just accept it. It's fact.
Accept it.
But if you want to see stuff like that, go to facebook.com/Podzilla1985. We didn't do it today because we forgot, but we will, Jesse, I'm sure will remind you tomorrow for PZ85 After Dark. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. We have a new tier of being able to listen to the pre-show. We're going to record for just,
Yeah. So the pre-show for today, we had the best discussion about Godzilla and the Terminator.
And Predator and like
Predator,
horror, and like we kind of fed off of last night's
of I Want to Believe. Yeah, unfortunately, you can't listen to it because I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, was it good?
It's just
that's the kind of we can't show you, but that's the kind of gold you can expect.
But no, it was quality.
Quality. Ow.
So Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. Any little bit helps. We greatly appreciate you. If you want to listen to last night's I Want to Believe, where you talked about horror movie icons,
it was a good show.
Go
Babies.
Podzilla1985.com. You can listen to all of the.
Ali, say it again so Hunter get 3 shows in a row.
Ghost Connor pregnant.
All right.
Podzilla1985.com. Listen to all of our older episodes. We are also available on most podcasting services. So, give us a like, give us a share. If you dig us, tell your friends about us.
We're just a hair below Playboy's podcast. Joke.
We can pass Playboy.
We can knock those bunnies into
with
the
this
ground.
groundswell of whoever you people are, because you won't go to Facebook.com/Podzilla1985.
Everybody's anonymous.
Identify yourself, because I want to love you and I want to know who I love.
Show some papers.
I feel like there was another one. YouTube.com/Cape Championship Wrestling. We have the newest episode of CCW Chaos is up. So tune into that. Other than that, normally I do a bit where I kind of like shoehorn Rusev Day into things, and then you get mad at me. But it's a new day. Yes, it is.